Sports Extra is brought to you by Mike's Subs, soon becoming Hoagie Brothers Subs. Same great subs, same great family ownership Mike's has had for years. And by the Buffalo Bills Report. To subscribe, call 648-9597. And by Gary Pools, now with 3 locations. And by the new Dodge. See your nearby Team Dodge dealer.
The Bills had the last laugh as they squished the Fish 29-10, and right now it's California. Here we come. Good evening. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Mike DeGeorge along with Stu Boyer. Our sports director, Ed Kilgore, is winging back from Miami, and we'll hear from him later on. We'll also have an interview with Dallas sportscaster John Radigan. But first, our telepoll question, as the Bills become only the second team in NFL history to go to 3 straight Super Bowls. Of course, Miami doing that. So the question, in their 3 trips to the Super Bowl, is this the Bills' best chance to win it? If you think yes, 644-9900. If you think not, 644-9905. We'll have the results at the end of tonight's show. Now, all of the focus leading up to today's game centering on the Bills' quarterback situation. Would it be Kelly or Reich? But as Marv Levy said during the week, the game will be determined by more than just the quarterbacks. Boy, was he on target. The Bills' defense once again coming to the forefront, and for the second straight week, Bruce Smith making a key early play that set the tone last week in Pittsburgh. Bills up 3-0. Second quarter when Bruce blasts through and nails Neil O'Donnell, forcing the fumble. The Bills recover and turn a TD for a 10-0 lead. Today, first quarter, Bruce almost deja vu, nailing Marino from behind. Darryl Talley scoops up the loose ball, and that sets up the Bills' score. And for Bruce, maybe his best game against Miami.
My stats haven't been as great playing against the Miami Dolphins. While my stats might have not been as great, they were turning everybody loose, like Jeff Wright, Phil Hansen, Cornelius Bennett, and they were able to get in there and make some plays. So it's very important. If I have to sacrifice myself to have somebody else be on one-on-one block, that's fine and dandy, just as long as we win.
Well, Bruce did a little bit of everything. Here he shuts down the run, the Fish, with just 33 yards on the ground. And he was in Marino's face all day long. When he wasn't pressuring Dan, he was getting that big paw up for Bruce. A monstrous day. Let's take a look at the stats. Big bad Bruce, 4 tackles, 3 assists, 1.5 sacks, and 1 knockdown. Maybe makes up for all the so-so performances against the Dolphins he's had in the past. But Stu, I think all week long the talk has been about Kelly and how he would be when he came back. When the Bills' first scoring drive, really Buffalo played it conservatively with a couple of key players they used all day long.
And they were very effective throughout the whole day. The Bills able to do a couple of things without any problems, especially run to the left side. And the screen pass, either Thurman Thomas or Kenneth Davis, also extremely effective for the entire game. Here's Thurman Thomas. 24 yards in slow motion. Thurman getting some great blocking from number 88, Pete Metzlars, number 69, Will Wolford. Thurman does the rest. Thurman with 20 carries, 96 yards on the ground. Mean Joe Green helpless there. And then the screen pass from Kelly to Kenneth Davis. And he'll take it down to inside the 5-yard line. And that'll set up the Steve Christie field goal. Christie with a big day today, kicking those 5 field goals. And the Bills have the lead. And Steve Christie's field goal kicking just one of the many highlights for the Bills today.
Yeah, I noticed too, a lot of people all season long saying, where's the screen pass? Where's the screen pass? The Bills saved it for a good time this afternoon. Well, a lot of people wondering also just how durable Kelly would be coming off the knee injury. Found out pretty early, a short 9-yard pass to Andre Reed. Andre back in the offense a bit more this afternoon. And on the play, Dolphins linebacker Brian Cox will lay the lumber on Kelly up high as we take a look on the slow-mo. Kelly able to handle the hit. Brian was sent to the box for, right there, for roughing, and they tack on 15 to that. Jim says, okay, Brian, I'll get even with you. He gets Cox one-on-one with Kenny Davis, and the Bills will take that matchup any day. 13 yards to Miami 22. Then watch the beautiful screen to Thurman, blocks by Wolford, and then downfield by Jim Richer coming up on the guy everybody likes to hate in Miami, Louis the Mouth. The Bills take the lead for good at 10-3. The offensive line was the story.
Coaches stuck with the game plan, and we ran the ball and passed the ball effectively all day, especially those little screen passes that we had.
Well, probably a key in the playoffs so far this season. You win the turnover battle and you get good field position, you're probably still going to win the football game.
Yeah, the Bills have borne that out the last two games, Mike, both in Pittsburgh and in Miami today. Miami trailed 13-3 at halftime, but the Dolphins were getting the ball to start the second half. A good start essential for the Dolphins to get back in the game. The Bills with great field position throughout the first half, but just a 10-point lead as the second half started. Watch what happens here on the opening kickoff. Mike Williams gets the ball, and he is stripped. The ball comes loose, and the Bills recover, and they are in business to start the second half. And then things would go even further the Bills' ways as you see them recover the kickoff, and Don Shula says, we can't turn it over like that. Thurman Thomas with a good run, but Thurman uncharacteristically fumbles. Marco Coleman picks up the ball and tries to run with it. Don Beebe alertly pounces on it. And that sets up some determined running by Kenneth Davis, who had 61 yards on 19 carries. Just a great run by Kenneth Davis here. And you know, the Dolphins just don't want to admit that the Bills are a better team.
I wouldn't really say our number, which they've been coming out on top. Maybe you're right. It's just we've been turning the ball over, and anytime you turn the ball over, then you're going to put yourself in a bad situation.
Dolphins like to talk, and they're still talking, aren't they? Don't want to admit some things.
Probably shouldn't at this point. you got to know when maybe to shut up and maybe just call it a day. Well, one other element of the Bills' offensive arsenal. Hey, Don Shula knew it was coming. Look at him. He says, hey, watch the screen. Or the reverse, excuse me. I got it mixed up. Watch the reverse. Dolphins are ready, but Reed, with a little help from Kelly, gets 5 yards on the play. Probably should have been hit for a loss. Now, a few plays later, the fake to Davis into the line. The other way to Brad Lamb for 16 yards. Hey, you got to like the reverse. It hasn't worked the last couple of weeks. That sets up another Christie field goal, making it 23-3. Christie was a 5 of 6, tying an NFL record as Thurman brings it down all the way down to the 2-yard line. Then Christie with the field goal, making it 23-3. Christie 5 of 6, tying an NFL playoff record, and the Bills go on to win the football game 29-10 in Miami. Coming up on Sports Extra, we head to Joe Robbie and a report from Ed Kilgo. And the last couple of weeks, the Bills had the right stuff. Today, it was the right stuff.
Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, fish heads, eat them up, yum. Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads.
Bills fans know their team has the right stuff. So does the Buffalo Bills Report, the official publication of the Bills. Marv Levy and Bill Poling appear each month in Bills Report. And you can read about Jan's Smoke Shop and Restaurant on Bloomingdale Road in Akron on the Tonawanda Indian Reservation. Great home cooking at affordable prices. Wait till you taste the soups, the sandwiches, and those homemade pies at Jan's Smoke Shop and Restaurant. You'll eat up Bills Report, too. Just call 648-9597. That's 648-9597. Bills Report. Once you pick it up, you won't be able to put it down.
BYB BAC.
Bring your body to the BAC.
Go ahead. Make some new you resolutions. We're celebrating the new year with 3 months for $99. Let the new year bring a new you. Act now. Get 3 months for $99 on a new fitness membership. Make a new you resolution today. Set goals. Develop. Strengthen. Triumph. Hurry. Offer ends soon.
Bring your body. BYB BAC.
Bring your body to the BAC.
Swimming pools. Gary's got it. Hot tubs. Gary's got it.
Gary's got the guaranteed lowest prices in town on the greatest indoor games. Choose from a selection of game tables such as ping pong, foosball, air hockey, poker, and more. Choose from a wide selection of billiard accessories. All pool cues are now half price. Always the lowest price in town. Guaranteed.
Gary's got it.
You know, one of the things I like best about Buffalo is Mike's subs. Oh, I grew up on them. And one of my favorites. And let me tell you, they really do it right. From the fresh quality meats to Mike's special oil, the shredded lettuce. I don't know what it is, but there's just something about a Mike's.
Mike's Giant Submarines. Next time you want something incredibly delicious, head to Mike's.
WBEN's weather fact says heavy snow this morning.
I gotta get to the station.
Plus blow.
Morning Man Bill Lacey is learning firsthand about weather facts from 9:30 WBEN.
I don't believe this.
With the latest traffic conditions.
The Skyway is closed in both directions.
Official school and business closings.
Rescue dog closed for business today.
You too? I don't believe this.
And Buffalo's exclusive weather facts forecast.
There's even a chance of lightning, believe it or not.
No. Yes.
News 9:30 WBEN.
Next, Bill Lacey on the Good Morning Show.
Believe it.
Welcome back. Ed Kilgore has been in Miami the past few days, and he files this report from Joe Robbie following the Bills' 29-10 win.
Once again, guys, it was the Bills' playoff experience, their big game experience that paid huge dividends here at Joe Robbie Stadium, where the Bills have been pretty comfortable. They're 6-1 here, but never have they dominated. And this is a good Dolphin team. Never have the Bills dominated this team as much as they did today. Jim Kelly quickly eliminated any thoughts of a quarterback controversy, although he did throw a couple first-half interceptions. But while that was happening, the defense was shutting down Dan Marino. They pressured him all day. They took away the Dolphins' running game completely, especially in the second half when the Dolphins were in the comeback mode. And all in all, it was a terrific stretch for the Bills, and who would have thunk it? 32 points down in the third quarter against the Houston Oilers at home, and the Bills come back to reach their third straight Super Bowl. Yes, they did it the hard way.
We appreciate this one more than we have in the past. Not saying that we didn't appreciate the previous two, but this one is it's a little bit special. You know, we came from being way down with Houston, coming back and winning that football game, playing without Jim. Just a great feeling.
Well, it feels good because there's not many people that thought we could do it, but we believed in ourselves all the way back when we went on the road against New Orleans Saints, and we had to go in Houston. But overall, it was just everybody sticking together, realizing that, hey, you know, if we're going to win it, we got to pull down inside our own hearts because we want to go out and do it and be able to do it with class, and that's exactly what we did today. We did it with class.
So the Bills in their first two trips to the Super Bowl, it's not easy winning at home, but it is a huge advantage in the playoffs. This time again, doing it the hard way as a wild card. They have to play an extra game. Then they go on the road for two tough games at Pittsburgh and Miami. The Bills clearly demonstrating they are the best team in the AFC. Are they the best team in football? Who knows? But perhaps this is really a team of destiny. No question about it. The Bills feel they are. From Miami, Ed Kilgore, Sports Extra.
Thanks, Ed, and I hope the airline food on the way back is fairly tasty. Now, once again, the Bills' defense was the story. Earlier tonight, after the Bills arrived back, we had a chance to talk with nose tackle Jeff Wright. Jeff, they said it couldn't be done, but you have to be happy, I know, especially from a defensive standpoint. The big concern was stopping the Dolphins' offense, and you really shut it down today.
Yeah, the defense played really well, and I have to say all three parts of our team played well, the special teams and offense, and the defense really showed up this week.
I want to ask you about the pressure on Dan Marino. That's always a key when you play the Dolphins. The game down there on Monday night, you sacked Marino 4 times, but I thought today you had even more consistent pressure on Marino all afternoon long.
Yeah, and that is the key. Last week, San Diego couldn't do that, and we knew that we couldn't let Dan just sit back there and just pick us apart and just play catch with the receivers. We had to put pressure on him, and that was our game plan, and it worked out well for us. I don't think he ever felt like he was real comfortable in the pocket. He was dancing around a lot, so I think it showed. You know, the pass rush really helped us out.
We talked about the consistent pass rush, and I thought one of the interesting things was you were getting a rush from all different angles today.
Yeah, we knew that me and Phil both knew we had to get a lot of push up the middle to give Bruce and Cornelius a good chance at some sacks, and that's exactly what happened.
A couple of key plays I thought defensively in this game. You're leading 10-3, and the deflected pass by Phil Hansen, which he turns into an interception.
Phil's played great all year, and can't say enough about him. He's really showed up for us this year. He's a big part of our defense, and I believe it was a screenplay. I'm not for sure on it, and Phil read it, and he played it perfect, batted it down, and caught it.
You're up 13-3 just before halftime, and the Dolphins try a flea flicker. Were you guys coming with the blitz there? Did you know that?
Well, yeah, we were trying to put as much heat on them as we could, and Bruce played it perfect. He read it. I believe he went to the back and then saw the flea flicker, and he read it perfect. I think the defense just played so much better than we have in the past. I think overall, as far as the defense all year, this is our best game.
Probably the key right from the get-go was shutting down the Miami run.
Yeah, I think they abandoned the run a little bit early because I think they ran 2 or 3 times in the second half, and that really helped us off because all we did have to tee up and just go.
Got to ask you one question. The last 3 AFC championship games, I don't know if you know this, the Bills defense have given up 3, 7, and today 10 points. I mean, are you saving your best outings for the AFC championship games?
I don't know. I think that in key situations like the championship, we seem to show up, and hopefully in the Super Bowl we'll do the same. We just took a step forward today, and the last 2 years we've lost the Super Bowl, and we don't want to come home with a loss this year. Our eyes are on the target this year.
Let's quickly talk about the Super Bowl matchup. Your 3rd chance at winning the big one. How do you like your chances against the Cowboys?
Well, I think their best suit is the running game, and our best suit is the run defense. So I hope we match up well against them. I think it's going to be a good game. It'll be exciting, man.
Jeff, thanks for coming down, and best of luck in Pasadena.
My pleasure.
Appreciate
Mike.
it. Okay, coming up, a satellite report from Dallas.
And the NFC Championship game where the Cowboys showed they could play with the big boys.
Buy one of 18 brand name mattresses in any size, and the matching box spring is only 93 cents. But only until Monday, and only at City Mattress.
Bills fans know their team has the right stuff. So does the Buffalo Bills Report, the official publication of the Bills. Marv Levy and Bill Poling appear each month in Bills Report. And you can read about Jan's Smoke Shop and Restaurant on Bloomingdale Road in Akron on the Tonawanda Indian Reservation. Great home cooking at affordable prices. Wait till you taste the soups, the sandwiches, and those homemade pies at Jan's Smoke Shop and Restaurant. You'll eat up Bills Report, too. Just call 648-9597. That's 648-9597. Bills Report. Once you pick it up, you won't be able to put it down.
Only one minivan's ever been named an Automobile Magazine All-Star 5 years in a row. Dodge Caravan. And Caravan's a '93 Motor Trend Best Buy. So, we're throwing an award celebration sale. Now you can save over $2,100 on this Grand Caravan because we've priced it the same as a regular Caravan. That's 25 extra cubic feet of space at no extra charge.
See your Team Dodge dealer and get the advantage. Advantage Dodge.
Well, it will be the Bills and the Cowboys in Super Bowl 27. And like the Bills today, the Cowboys had to do it on the road. Who would have thunk it, Stu?
Yeah, the last time that happened when both road teams won, 1967, Green Bay and Kansas City. While the Bills never had a quarterback controversy, there just might be one starting in San Francisco. And it was pretty soggy all week in San Francisco. Dallas at Candlestick Park, George Seifert and Jimmy Johnson watching. Second quarter, strange touchdown. The Niners jump offside and the players kind of stop. We think the play's over. But no, it wasn't. Darrell Johnston from Lewiston scores. It's 17-10 Cowboys. Fourth quarter, 23-13 Dallas. Steve Young to who else? Jerry Rice, 23-20 Dallas with 4 minutes to play. On the ensuing kickoff, the next series, Aikman to Alvin Harper, 78 yards. A huge play for the Cowboys there. That set up Kelvin Martin's 7-yard touchdown catch. That made it 30-20 Dallas. That was the final score. Could this be Joe Montana's last day as a 49er? A big day for the groundskeeper, George Toma. He was painting the lines, and the Cowboys paint things to the tune of a 30-20 win to move in to the Super Bowl. The line out of Las Vegas has the Cowboys early 7-point favorites in the Super Bowl. That's one of a number of topics we spoke about with John Radigan from KXAS-TV in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Actually, hardly anybody in Dallas is surprised to, and the reason is this is a very confident town, and I think that confidence comes from Jimmy Johnson himself. I mean, the guy has been a picture of confidence since the playoffs began. Usually he's worried and nervous, but he's been smiling and joking, and you may have seen him at the end of the game on the telecast earlier today where he said, "How about them Cowboys?" Totally uncharacteristic of Jimmy Johnson. That's not how he normally is, but he says this is the time of year to have fun, and he is having fun, and obviously so are the players. So not that big a surprise, I guess, to see them installed as favorites at this early juncture.
John, what about this Cowboys team? Are they perhaps a little bit ahead of schedule? People thinking maybe that next year was their year more so than this one?
Absolutely ahead of schedule. They are a team that's so young that maybe they don't yet know exactly what this is all about. That, you know, there's only 2 players before today on the team that had been in NFC championship games, and I heard a statistic during the telecast of the Buffalo game where 42 of the 47 had played an AFC championship game, so that shows the difference in experience. And obviously experience was a big factor for the Bills today, so it could well be a big factor for the Bills in a couple of weeks out in Pasadena.
John, the Cowboys defense ranked #1 in the NFL, and yet no Cowboys to the Pro Bowl. How do you explain that?
Well, it's difficult to explain except that they do a lot of rotating. There could be as many as 19 different players who play defense on a regular basis for the Cowboys in the Super Bowl or in any given game throughout the season thus far. Dave Wanstead, the defensive coordinator, rotates them through. He has specialists at pass rush, specialists at linebacker, and specialists in the defensive backfield. And so 2 of the best players, you know, won't be out there. Tony Casillas and Russell Maryland won't, for example, be out there for passing situations. They're great defensive linemen in a run situation. Passing situation, they get pulled out for a couple of younger guys.
Harold Johnston from nearby Lewiston, his role's increased the last couple of weeks. A little comment on his role as it's increased, and then a quick pick as time runs out.
Okay, I'll tell you what, Daryl Johnston is a fan favorite around here. The players love him. He's just a guy who works so hard and does all the intangibles usually. So this city's thrilled that he had such a great game today and so many chances to touch the football. They call him the Moose, and the Moose is loose here in Dallas right now. And as far as a pick, I was picking Dallas 21-20 today, so I was a little off on that. I still think Dallas, with the talent, a little bit better talent than what the Buffalo Bills have. A lot of people around here are eating buffalo wings already. I think Dallas will eat some buffalo wings in a couple of weeks and win it by 3 in Pasadena.
Well, I disagree, John. I think the Bills will win 24-20, and you'll have to have some hot sauce on those chicken wings. Thanks for joining us, John Radigan from KXAS-TV.
All righty, Stu, way to give it to him. I'm sort of surprised, Stu, that I know it's an early line, but that the Cowboys would be 7-point favorites. I thought maybe a field goal at best.
Well, I think that's the lack of respect for the AFC, and the Bills have been there twice. And I mean, the NFC, sure, the Bills are 4-0 against the NFC. There's no respect for a team that's done that well against the NFC this year, and I hope the Cowboys are as cocky as John Radigan was.
I think one of the interesting aspects is the no-huddle factor. The Bills have traditionally done well against teams that haven't seen the no-huddle. This will be the first time that the Cowboys have seen it.
Yeah, well, remember what happened to the Raiders in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago, and other teams too. That's a good point, Mike. And the Bills will have to be good against the run because Emmitt Smith's one of the best.
Well, I think one of the things this game will probably, as always, come down to a defense, and the Cowboys defense, without any top players, they're ranked first overall. That surprises.
Well, yeah, and also, you know, the Cowboys, they don't have nearly as much depth, at least in the offensive line, I don't think, as the Bills. So hopefully everybody will go in healthy.
Okay, we got 2 weeks to talk about this. Well, when we come back, we'll have the results of our telepoll, plus the Bills come home and the fans come out.
Swimming pools. Gary's got it. Hot tubs. Gary's got it.
It's billiard season, and Gary's got the finest selection of pool tables at the lowest price in town, guaranteed. Receive $100 off the Old House in Drake now for a limited time. Choose from a wide selection of accessories like billiard balls, carry cases, pool cues, and more. All pool cues are now half price. Gary's got it.
Gary's got it.
All right, Chief, open wide. Come on. Look, Daddy loves corn pops, see? And here it comes.
The problem with a cereal that tastes like popcorn, only sweeter, is that it disappears like popcorn, only faster.
Y'all finished? Good boy.
He may want seconds.
Kellogg's Corn Pops. It's hard to stop when it's Pops.
You know, one of the things I like best about Buffalo is Mike Subs. Oh, I grew up on them. They're one of my favorites. And let me tell you, they really do it right. From the fresh quality meats to Mike's special oil, the shredded lettuce. I don't know what it is, but there's just something about a Mike's.
Mike's Giant Submarines. Next time you want something incredibly delicious, head to Mike's.
Set furnishings for Sports Extra provided by Locke Sporting Goods. Come on in and see the team in green. Guests on Sports Extra receive a gift certificate from Gary Pools, now with 3 locations. Transportation for guests on Sports Extra provided by Prestige Limousine Service, serving all of Western New York and Canada.
Okay, folks, here we go. The results of tonight's Sports Extra telepoll question. The question, of course, in their 3 trips to the Super Bowl, is this the Bills' best chance to win? Over 1,300 calls, 59% think yes, 41% think no. Thanks for calling, folks. Personally, I thought maybe the Bills' best chance of winning it was a couple years ago against the New York Giants, but I think the Bills match up pretty well against Dallas.
I think this is their best chance. Defense is playing unbelievably great football lately.
Okay, the Bills arrived back home tonight, Prior Aviation, around 9 o'clock, and maybe it's the first time all year that the Bills have been greeted at the airport. There you see Bruce Smith leading the brigade off the plane. Andre Reed, there's Jim Kelly with a big smile. Jim was in the driver's seat as usual. And you wonder, I mean, the Bills played a cool down in Miami after the football game, but obviously they were loving this scene, and the fans, about 600 of them, were having a good time. The Bills win at 29-10, and hopefully there will be one more celebration in this town. One other note, the Sabres lost in Edmonton tonight in overtime. They're 0 for 3 on the road trip. They lost in overtime, 3-2 the final to the Edmonton Oilers. The Sabres will wrap up the road trip Tuesday in Calgary. Now, make sure you join us next week when we'll preview the Bills Super Bowl matchup with the Dallas Cowboys. But before we go, we'd like to wish the best to one of our editors, John Faco, who will be leaving the Sports Extra crew after this week. We join John and wish you well. And now we leave you with a little going away present, John, for the Miami Dolphins. See you next week, folks.
Go, 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 Cuba. Let's see you 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 go, 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 Cuba. Now I know the score. I don't need you anymore. Don't want you control. Gotta go, 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 Cuba. Let's see you 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 go, 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 Cuba. Go, 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 Cuba. Cuba. Cuba.
The chicken